Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizziefaye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth. You might can hear from my voice. I'm a little scratchy. I've got a little bit of a chest cold, and it's affecting my voice. But other than that, I'm fine. And it is May the 1st, the National Day of Prayer. I went to a prayer meeting this morning, got a little sticker, and then I went to the library, picked up a few books to read in May. And I'm here now to share with you what I plan to read for the month of May. So the big readathon for me in May is Middle Grade May, and I also do a little challenge attached to that called Book a Day in May. And for the last 4 years, I guess, I have done a Book a Day in May challenge with my daughter Emelie, in addition to doing something on my own and just, trying to read or listen to at least 31 books on my own. So I've been, in other words, doing double duty and trying to do 62 books in the month of May. And this year is no different. I'm going to attempt to do the same thing. But there's also another readathon going on that quite a few of my close circle of booktube friends are involved in, and that is the Murder and Mayhem readathon. So I am going to read one adult mystery that will also be for my book club, and that will be my little nod to Murder and Mayhem. I'm not joining one of the teams or anything like that. I honestly don't really understand how it all works, but it looks like a lot of fun, and I'll leave links to both Sonia's and Tiffany's announcement videos in case you haven't heard about Murder and Mayhem and you want to get in on that fun. But if you want to join us for Middle Grade May, of course you can do both, and you can do both by reading Middle Grade Mysteries. For Middle Grade May, I am co-hosting with my friend Beth from Soul Stained Ink. Her and I are a couple of the OG participants when it was originally hosted by our friend Akos from the channel Akos with K. She doesn't do videos anymore, but in the last few years we have brought it back along with Lee from Dark Roots Creations and Storm from Storm Reads. And this year our theme is the tortoise and the hare. You can choose to be the hare and just try to read as many books as you can off of your TBR and off of your shelves, or you can be the tortoise, and as we know, slow and steady wins the race. So if you are a tortoise, just take your time, low key, chill. Don't worry about how many you finish. Just enjoy the journey. And so I have, of course, chosen to be a hare because, y'all, if you saw my bookshelves in my house, you would say, girl, you need to get rid of some of these books. You need to read them, get rid of them, do something. So that is what I am doing. I spent a good portion of yesterday listening to one of my last audiobooks for the month of April and going through most all of my middle grade books and looking them up to see what I could get on audio and separating those out so that I have a playlist, if you will, of audiobooks for the month to try to get through as many of these as I can so that I can unhaul the physical books. Now, I won't be unhauling all of these books, but I would say that the majority of what I have picked out to listen to, I can let go. So anyway, before I do that, though, let me share with you what I am reading with Emelie, and then a few of my other odds and ends, and then we will get into the 30 plus middle grade books that I want to try to get to in the month of May. So as I've mentioned before, I start my day with the devotional, and I didn't bring all my devotional books in here. I have 2 page-a-day books I'm reading, and then 2 that I'm reading with Emelie. And for Bible study, I have been reading through the Bible with Les Feldick. I'm in book 10 right now. But when I get to the end of book 10, which should take me about another 12 days, I am then going to take a break from that. And I have this. I've got this in some free books that I found. And it looks really interesting. Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table. This is by Louis. I'm not sure if those are hard G's or soft G's, but anyway, you can see it there. It looks really interesting, and I did look it up. There are 6 video sessions, and it looks like they're all on YouTube. So I'm just going to take my time in the second half of the month and just go through this Bible study, and then I will pick back up with book 11 of Les Feldick probably at the beginning of June. So that will be my devotional reading. One mystery that I for sure am going to read or listen to in May is for my In Real Life book club, and And also this will be my nod to the Murder and Mayhem Readathon. That is Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayborn. Now, Sarah from the Bookish Knitter, I think, has been reading book 2, and she has really loved both of these books. So I am really looking forward to this. I am waiting for my audiobook to come in on Libby. It's not a guarantee, that, of course, that I will get it in time, but I do have the physical copy here, and I need to go ahead and just start reading it and at least have some of it done just in case my audiobook doesn't get here in time, because since the month started today on a Thursday, that means my mystery book club is next week. It's a week from today. So I got to get busy on that. Then with my daughter, we are going to continue our Caldecott project, but we just have 15 left to go. We have spent the last 2 Mays working on Caldecott winners. We, at some point in between, we picked up another decade and got that done. We'll probably just do one more video for now of the Caldecott winners of the 2010s or 2010s, and we'll probably go ahead and read the other 5 from the 20s, but I won't do a dedicated video to those until 2029 and then wrap up that decade when we get to the end of it. But I do want us to get caught up on it. So we went to the library this morning after our prayer meeting for the National Day of Prayer, and at my local library I was able to find 4 from the decade that we're going to be focusing on, and I believe this one is the winner from 2010. This is The Lion and the Mouse by Jerry Pinkney. And then this is the winner from 2012, A Ball for Daisy by Chris Ratchka. And then from 2014, this is Locomotive. This is by Brian, I think, Floka. And then I think this is the winner from 2017, Radiant Child by Javaka Steptoe. So those were the only Caldecott winners I was able to get at this point, but this will get us started, and then in the meantime I will get some more ordered from the library. Some will have to come from other libraries in our county so that we can get those 10 done, and then more than likely pick up the other 5 at some point throughout the month if I can get them. So that takes care of only half the month. And then I was thinking that for the other half of the month, we would read Beatrix Potter. But I looked them up this morning, and there are 24 different Beatrix Potter tales. So that's more than one a day for the second half of the month. So I'm thinking, wow, maybe we should just save Beatrix Potter for next year. I hate to wait a whole year. And I recently found the ones that I knew I had in the garage, some of these tales by Beatrix Potter, and so I think we'll go ahead and read these. And I did go ahead and pick up a couple more that my library had, and then we also have this that I found in my garage that I had picked up somewhere. This is The Nutshell Library by Maurice Sendak, and it's got 4 little books in it. Pierre is one of them. Chicken Soup with Rice is another one. One was Johnny, and Alligators All Around. So we will read these for sure, and just read one a day, because as I said, I want to do a book a day in May with her, and then I think we will just kind of go through her bookshelves and look for some other things to sort of fill in the rest of the days. I didn't bring it in here, but this morning we read a really cute little cowgirl book. It was like Cowgirl Kate and Coco or something like that, and it was adorable. It has 4 little chapters. For some reason, this wasn't already in her room. When I was going through my own middle grade books yesterday, I found this in the box, even though it's really not a middle grade book. It's what at our store we would call a first chapter book. But anyway, I left it out and I read it to her this morning, and it was really adorable. So then we, like I said, then we went to the library to pick up some Caldecott winners, because that's what we'll do for the next 10 days for sure, is read Caldecott, and then for the rest of the month we'll mix it up a little bit. But the Beatrix Potter books that I found in my garage: Tale of Mr. Jeremy Fisher, The Tale of Tom Kitten, and The Tale of Samuel Whiskers, or The Roly-Poly Pudding. From the library today, we got The Tale of Jemima Puddle Duck, and then The Tailor of, I don't know how to say that. Some of y'all tell me, how do you say that? I want to say Gloucester, but is it Gloucester? Is it something totally different? I have no idea. Tailor of someplace that starts with GL. All right, so I'm happy to say that I finished, I guess, everything that I set out to finish for the month of April, in April. And so I did carry over, I think, a total of 10 books, though, that I started that I knew would take me longer than the month. Now, I didn't start all of them in April. Some of them I started in March and January, but I have 10 books that I'm carrying over, and most of them I am not going to even pick up during the month of May. I'm going to focus almost completely on children's and middle grade books. Then I will pick back up with all of them in June. The exceptions, though, are what I have on my Kindle, because I like to read a little bit every day on my Kindle, even if it's just a page or two. And I am still reading the 100 Selected Poems by Keats. I read a couple pages on that every day. And I joined Kindle Unlimited this month. I took advantage of their 99-cent deal where you could get 3 months for 99 cents. And the first thing I borrowed was the original Marvel Years Comics, Volume 1 of Star Wars. So I have been reading on that. I think I have read the first 6 and maybe 7 issues now, or maybe I'm in the 7th issue. The first 6 issues are basically the same story as the original Star Wars movie, which you all know of as A New Hope. Back then in 1977, it was just Star Wars. So, it was the original. So the first 6 issues are just retelling of that story. And I was listening to the Star Wars Old Canon Book Club, which I've talked about before. They have such filthy mouths. I mean, oh my goodness. They use the F word every other sentence. But the one thing they mentioned on there is how, it seems redundant to just retell the movie, but they were saying how, even though they're too young to remember it, but if you are a kid back then, you didn't just have it on video to watch at home. You saw the movie as many times as you could in the theater, and then it was gone. But if you got the comic books, you could read and reread and reread that story of the movie until there was something more. And it was a while, before there was anything else other than the movies and those first few comic books. So, it definitely had its place in the Star Wars fandom. So, anyway, I have started that, and I'm really enjoying it, and I want to get as many of those read as I can while I still have that 99-cent special, but I'll probably keep it for a while because I'm sure that I will discover plenty more books that are on Kindle Unlimited that I would like to read. I mentioned in my Middle Grade May announcement when I talked about what I was going to be reading in print that the group read is Aesop's Fables. And I want to thank Lee from Dark Roots Creations for alerting me to the fact that if I had not heard and watched her video first, I would have probably said Aesop's Fables. But she was right. It's Aesop. And, the first letter is A. So I'm a country girl. I first, I would look at that and think Aesop. But I looked it up, which is what I tend to do. If I hear anyone pronouncing anything differently than the way I have been saying it, I look it up to see if they're right or if I'm right. Sometimes we're both wrong. But in this case, Lee was right. It is Aesop's Fables. So this is our group read, and this is going to be discussed on Beth's Discord group. And so if you did not see her announcement video, it came out a couple of days after ours, but I'm pretty sure that there is a link to her Discord in that video. So just be sure that you check out her channel and find that. But this has about 200 and something different fables. They're just like 1 to 2 pages each. And I did the math, and you need to read about 5 a day in order to, if you want to space it out and read it over the entire month. Now, you could read more than that and get it done faster, but a minimum of 5 a day will get you from the beginning of the month to the end of the month and get all of these read. And we will be discussing them in Beth's Discord group. So find yourself a copy. Now, I'm pretty sure there are different variations of it. You may find some books that have fewer different collections. This was the one that my library had, and I hope that it has, the majority and the main ones in it. So, it remains to be seen until I get through it. But anyway, I did read 5 of them this morning, and I really enjoyed them. Then I also started Moon Over Manifest by Claire Vanderpool. Now I had read the kind of the prologue intro stuff to this a couple of times over the last couple of months, and so today I skimmed over that part and finally actually read the first couple of chapters. And for me, I like to space things out over the whole month if I need to. So I did the math on this one, and I need to read at least 11 pages per day of this book in order to finish it by the end of the month. So I will do a minimum of that in Moon Over Manifest. But I do have 2 other books that I want to read in print, and 1 book that I have on ARC that's on ebook. So I'll need to read through these a little bit faster, but they're a little shorter. So I'll probably go ahead and start one of these and read it simultaneously. I have Simone Lefray and the Chocolatier's Ball by S.P. O'Farrell. And this was sent to me by the author. Then this was also sent to me by the author, Jared Acuna. It's called All Battles End at Sunset. This is a Christian middle grade historical fiction book. So it is set in 1562 Florida. So that's pretty interesting. I also mentioned that I wanted to read at least 1 Star Wars book, and rather than try to get back into the next adult Star Wars book that I had started a couple months ago, I'm going to go ahead and just pick up a middle grade book and read this on Star Wars Day. I was at the library today, forgot to pick it up. But it's going to be the next one that I need to read in the Jedi Academy series. So I need to go and grab that from the library before May the 4th so that I can read that and use that as my Celebrate Star Wars Day book. And then I want to get 2 books done in my 60 by 60 project. I have 1 book that I would consider a middle grade book, and another book by that same author that's probably more of a YA book, but I'd like to go ahead and knock these 2 out. One of them I can get on Audible Plus, and one I can get on Hoopla, and I think I'd like to go ahead and just get these done. I did get 1 done in April, so I'll just have 3 left that I need to finish in June, and that will finish my 60 by 60 project. Yay! But the 2 books I'm going to read or listen to are by Louisa May Alcott. I've got Under the Lilacs, which I'm pretty sure is considered a children's book, and then I have An Old-Fashioned Girl, which is probably more of a teen book, but I'm still going to go ahead and try to knock these 2 out in May. Okay, so I've got 36 books here, and the goal is to read a minimum of 31 books for the month of May, and that would include the ones that I've already shown you. So I won't need to read even 30 of these because I've already shown you like 8 books that I'm planning to read. But I want to read as many as I can. Like I said, I'm going to be the hare and try to get through as many of these as fast as I can. All right, I was originally going to put all of my May TBR into one video. I realized that it's going to be a bear to edit and upload. So I am going to stop here, and then I will come back with part 2, and in part 2 I will show you all of the middle grade books that I pulled off my shelf that I'm going to listen to on audio. So I hope that you'll come back for part 2. And if you saw any books in part 1 that you are interested in, or you've read, or you want to read, let's chat about them in the comments. So for now, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.